Brought to you by Pop-Tarts this week. Will.
Hey!
Welcome back, Will.
Back.
For people watching this on YouTube, like the backlog, it's just one episode. It's just they just went from like two crazy. They just went from watching
Like a giant head. In
giant head from Florida, two weird shows that aren't like the rest, and now they're back into the groove. And some of those people are thinking, "Oh, thank God! Oh, thank God that's over." Because isn't it just the worst when you're watching or listening to something and it's always routine?
Yeah.
And then they have one episode that's live or one episode that's via Skype. And you're like,
It's just different, especially because we didn't really figure it out 100%.
Yeah.
We got a little better. We figured some things
well,
out.
I was telling people about this show a lot on the trip and when I was down there, and I was telling people that we're a video thing, and I was like, my goal is to really have a lot of guests Skype in, because I think that's, as someone who does small-time YouTube radio show appearances,
it makes it so much easier
yeah,
to pull people.
You can get people to do that much easier than you can get someone to come to your place and do your actual show in person.
I mean, it'll be fun when we finally get in-person things, but for most things, Skype's just going to work better. It's just the logistics of it.
Exactly. We're looking good. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
The crotch cam.
I was afraid. I was afraid this is gonna fall apart, like at the seams. Like it's a little bit like Scotty in Star Trek. Like it's like
At all times.
to me it is.
Like, yeah, because
To me it feels like everything's breaking.
of course. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. That's why every week when we go off the air, I profusely thank you for a moment at the
it's
door.
very nice.
Because that was the way Paul kind of. Well, you've always been like, we got to do something hypothetically has no video component.
Yeah, I
That
thought
would
we
be
had to have a
cool.
video thing,
And I was
even
like,
though
that's
it's
very-
still like it's the smallest thing for this. Like the audio still does better. But, so
That's true.
So I'm probably wrong.
I don't know though. It's something, and I think as we grow, we're still we're getting into the groove of this.
I know what I like. I'd rather watch Rogan than listen to Rogan.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Bert Kreischer than
I like-
listen to Bert Kreischer.
I went from, so when I was listening to this on my phone down in Florida, I listened to the episode we did just to hear it, and then I was in the car and I was like, I'm gonna pull it up on the YouTube app and listen to it there,
yeah.
because the iTunes one wasn't working, and then I did that and I was like, oh, this is cool too.
Yeah, it's
you know?
definitely cool. It's definitely cool, but I just
It's
think
good to have the option.
it feels like everything's moving to video, especially 5G's right around the corner with phones, so everything's going to be instant access. So
Yeah, and once I think we have, I mean, people they see enough of us. They don't need to see us all the time. But like when we have like guests and stuff that people they might want to
much
see their
cooler like
face a
that,
lot more.
yeah.
Them, but who knows?
it's hard to know.
I
You just got to
still-
guess.
I still think, yeah, we are getting better numbers as a podcast. Which totally makes sense. It is a good podcast to listen to.
Maybe.
When
Maybe
I've
'cause it's
listened
more
to
of
it-
like a conversation.
I mean, everyone's different. I don't really watch a lot of podcasts on YouTube, and even my podcast, which hypothetically does good numbers on iTunes, but its views on YouTube aren't insanely high.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that kind of stuff is weird.
I don't get it.
Plus YouTube, we always talk about it's such an insane animal with all its tagging and paying
Algorithms
paying for exposure.
Something's going on, man.
We might have to pay a little Skrilla soon.
Did you see we don't have this in our news, but the breaking news of Lori Loughlin and
I did see that.
pretty wacky, right? She's bribing. She was going to bribe up to
What was
$500,000.
Felicity Huffman is.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was.
That's William H. Macy's wife.
Yeah.
Still, too, right?
Yeah, but he was like left off. Like they didn't even mention his name.
But that's very fucked up because, yeah, they obviously, I mean, that's their kid.
Yeah.
So that's, we don't do politics on this show, especially political.
But still.
But that's still
yeah.
a little odd that why wouldn't he be mentioned?
But unless they have like legit paperwork that she's like, give my kid
It's
in
her check,
his
right?
$15,000.
Well, the checks and who's ever
Yeah.
named, whoever is getting the indictment.
Her money was low too. It was like $15,000, and Lori Loughlin, her money was, I think they said up to $500,000. 2 kids though.
It's just bribe money.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Reamer had a great tweet about this. Alex Reamer said, what's funny about this is how much that someone will pay. There's so many great colleges, and it really doesn't matter anymore where you go to college as much at all.
It's all a prestige
So
thing.
these people are still, what they're really paying for is to get their little spoiled brats. I'm paraphrasing his thing, but into their dream school instead of.
It's for their like.
They could probably go to a great school.
It's for their fucking like Christmas newsletter.
Little status.
Mary Beth got into whatever fuck you college.
But it's for people out there.
Well, like, didn't we already know?
Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, especially Felicity Huffman. All right, so they're in big time different worlds financially. Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy are fucking filthy rich.
Leagues above, right?
Compared to the average American, they're filthy rich. They're multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
William H. Macy has made a shitload of money as an actor. She was on Desperate Housewives, which is in syndication.
Yeah.
They're printing money at the Huffman H. Macy household. Lori Loughlin is a television actress with one big show.
She got that Hallmark money, though. I watch her on Hallmark
She's definitely
movies.
in the of Americans.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Definitely in the upper echelon, but in Hollywood, lower echelon. Or
I don't know though. What if she was like real smart with her money though in the 80s? You never know.
And I don't know who she married or anything like that either, because they both. That's the thing.
I didn't even know who the other lady was.
A lot of Huffman's money is H. Macy's money. She made a shitload of money. Desperate Housewives' money is silly money too. Yeah. So that was my first thought when I saw that story. I was like, all right, these two women are being thrown in like to the wolves together.
Yeah.
And one of them could really be ruined by this, and the other one will kind of just bounce back. Felicity Huffman will, pay off the fine.
It's a good point.
It's a bad look, yada yada.
That is like a really good
But this money, even the bride money, is way more money to Lori Loughlin.
It has to be, right?
Felicity Huffman. That was I immediately went financial with it.
I just wonder though. I wonder if she has more money than we think she does though, because she was the one offering the big dollars.
The ability to,
it does, but those things are always bullshit.
Right?
Have you Googled those things before? They never really make sense to me.
Net worths, they're often way off from what people say, but I think those things are pretty fluid. I'm sure a million people are Googling this right now.
Network. Let me pull this.
8 million.
See, I don't buy that though. Like the new Full House is back. She does she's on two different shows on Hallmark.
That's all, dude. That's all. That's not. That's like that's anything an actor's been in since 2006. Is not paying like it did before.
Yeah.
William H. Macy's a movie star, and Felicity Huffman was on Desperate Housewives
when they started.
So Desperate Housewives, for a lead, is probably the money she made from that is still hot money, right?
She's like
the 8th lead on Full House, not even every season.
It's true.
And that money's getting less and less and less every single year.
But that means she loves her kids more, because
that's exactly what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. My whole argument here is that Lori Loughlin is a little bit less of like, her story's a little more sad than this other one.
Yeah.
They're all rich people fucking using the system to get their kids into school. But just to play devil's advocate, isn't a lawyer, isn't a rich person who's in trouble with the law going to spend their money on a better lawyer?
That's a good point.
And get off more easy. It's like
it's a little different though, because it's like multiple bribing. Like there's multiple levels of bribery too. So it's a little different.
This is what's funny about this, and this is devil's advocate thing. But this is the kind of thing that just has always happened, and now people are getting in trouble for.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. I was like, how did you think all these celebrities and politicians' kids got into all these schools? You thought they were all fucking brilliant?
Yeah, you thought they all were smart?
They're all brilliant.
Kids also get into Harvard because they're good at hockey. Should they be fucking kicked in the balls?
Exactly.
There's tons of athletes that go to Harvard that are, if you compare them to the average person,
dumb as rocks.
Dumb. Most of them, I will say, I've like met a lot
probably
of
good
athletes.
work ethic.
They're not as dumb as other college guys who are college athletes. They have something to them. They have read Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
They can write an essay. but they're nowhere near Harvard level. But they play hockey or they're in crew, so they're there.
I mean, Harvard even argues that though, like that's about like the enrichment of their environment.
You could also argue that having William H. Macy on your campus to speak to your drama club isn't a huge advantage.
Definitely is.
You know, so there's a lot here that I don't think is like fun to talk about or anything, but that's part of capitalism, I think.
Oh yeah, this is the bad part of it.
I mean, I'm sure
part of it.
Malia Obama was going to get into Harvard.
Great point.
Because her dad was the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chelsea Clinton had her choice of any school because her dad was the president of the United States. There's always going to be that.
Mick Jagger's kid. It's all like...
So it's kind of, I think, a bullshit story. People get mad at rich people for using their money to influence people. I think these people just got caught doing it in a way that's not as hidden as the other way, which would be to just donate it to the...
Well, it's like two white ladies, too. That's part of it. It makes it super easy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a new thing. They've been hating white like men for a while. Maybe it's white women's turn.
It's already coming. It's coming
I like
around
it.
to everybody. But anyway, let's go quickly. Let's get into another segment. We're getting too socio-political. We never do that. That's in our mission statement.
We both also like lack...
Do you want to do...
I think we start right off with the vape guy.
Let's start off with vape dude blowing his face off. Want to remind everyone our segment, Scratch Ticket, will be happening at the end of the show.
Oh, back.
Here, and we will break shit if we win over $500,000. It was smashed.
So this poor kid.
Monitor.
Yeah.
Maybe
there's
like,
3 monitors. There's
3 monitors.
Just in this room.
We're gonna want to watch ourselves smashing it.
That's true.
So we have to leave some stuff intact.
That's a good point.
Maybe we'll just go buy some stuff, bring it in here, then smash it. But
it'll make it real, like artificial.
Something. It'll be like this year's Red Sox World Series celebration. I think it's become so organized when a team... It used to just be...
terrible.
They'd go in and tape up the locker room.
Yeah.
Then it used to be they had a lot of champagne. Now it's like... they're like, we have Bud Lights, and they're already all pre-opened for you guys, and here they are, and here's like the champagne. Here's one for everyone, and it's all
Here's
like
your sponsored goggles.
Perfectly, yeah. Here are your goggles with the Red Sox logo, and everything's like perfectly handed out.
Yeah.
This year it looked like very organized fun. I hate to be critical of the greatest ball club in America.
If you keep winning, it's just hard to care.
I know, but I also think it's a sign of the times, that organized fun.
Yeah.
And,
oh yeah.
One of the things,
it's the Instagram fun.
One of the new things bars like to, when you're a comedian, bars who do bar shows always like to threaten the guys that have the shows with like what they could replace you with. They used to always be like, yeah, I got a karaoke guy in here.
I can get a jukebox.
Yeah, I got a karaoke guy. Half the money. Everyone loves karaoke. Like they always use that against you. I don't have a bar show anymore, but I hear the stories.
Yeah.
Capo they're great to me there, and it's not like that.
It's very different.
It's a different thing. It's like got a production company attached. John Tobin Presents. But, the bar show thing, they hear that all the time. So I was listening to a guy in Florida on the phone with a guy up here. And the guy's going, hey, I can replace your show with bingo. It's huge right now. Game of Thrones bingo. Celebrity bingo, TMZ bingo,
escape room bingo. That's 2 things.
Escape room bingo. He's like, it sells out the club, man. Like bingo's awesome. And I'm sitting there going, like, I did one of the colleges I did this year. I was like, what's going on in that room? Because it was like packed, and they go bingo for an iPod or something, an iPhone. And I was like, bingo? I'm like losing kids to bingo. College kids.
These kids are weird.
And then I was like, man, people organized, safe fun is actually in vogue right now. People are going to bars to do trivia and to play bingo, and they feel good about themselves after.
It's weird. I guess it's good.
Like, I had fun. We went in Florida. We tried to go play bingo with the old people.
Yeah.
But it was, A, takes 2 hours, B, filled with so much cigarette smoke. And no ventilation. It wasn't like a casino where you can smell it, but you can't breathe it.
Yeah.
It was just disgusting and everywhere. And so we just kind of just absorbed it for a moment and left. But that was it. That was an experience we wanted to have. But to go play bingo,
especially because like had a picture of it, but it's not like no one calls the bingo. There's
No,
no
yeah,
like there's no fancy man with like
even the thing, you have to pay extra if you want to like hit the thing with you. They just want to give you a little computer thing that you hit buttons on. It looks like a fucking that game Battleship, but it's got like
it's not as fun though.
calculator screen. The whole thing was not fun, and they knew too. They saw us come in. We're like two guys from Boston. Everyone's 100 and smoking. We come in. We're like, what's this fucking bullshit? What do we want to do? We want to make fun of it. They were just like, well, it's sad here. It's hell, and like, fuck you, and it's not supposed to be fun, and get the fuck out of here.
That's what this is about.
Yeah, we smoke and we fucking hate life,
And we wait for death.
yeah, and it's $20 to play, and you win $50. I'm like, what the fucking hell is happening? This whole thing is a crock of shit. But it was funny trying to find one in the middle of the day. We called a couple, and one of them's like, "Nah, you might want to try Ponderosa. They might be running. Like we're gambling addicts, you know? I'm like, I need a game." A lot of men vaping down there.
Oh yeah.
So this is the new
So-
new thing. I'm thinking my new trend. My new thing is that men vape, women don't.
Well, after you said that, I don't think I've ever seen a woman vape. Like a few.
Seen women
The
with
smaller ones too.
people. Being clear, I'm not talking about vaping marijuana, THC, wax.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
the propylene glycol, the vegetable
propylene
glycerin
glycol guy
flavoring.
It's like a thing a guy holds in his hand. It makes an audible noise and a huge cloud of smoke. You see it at bars. Sometimes you'll see a dude outside now with the smokers, which it kills me. I'm walking back from Capital last night, and this dude's outside a junction smoking his vape, and I'm like, it's freezing, and you're out here. You're the only guy out here. How is this better than smoking? Like, you fucking jackass, you know?
Do you find it worse or better than smoking though?
Worse in a sense. I think day-to-day life, I'd rather... A cigarette thing is such a fleeting moment. It's like, ugh. If you don't like it, you're like... You smell it. If every now and then you're right in someone's shit, if they're like in front of you on the street and it goes right in your face, that can suck, you know.
Yeah.
But with vape, it's so thick.
It's a different thing.
You're breathing in it. You're breathing it in, like tasting it.
I'm tasting this man,
He exhaled this shit,
and I was like, hey.
and now I'm like,
Yeah.
like my lungs are. It's
I feel the same way. I think it's like almost the same as cigarettes. Like I don't want to be around
It's
either.
just
of them,
as
to be
bad,
honest,
and
but
it's
a
they're
little
both bad,
To
right?
me, I think it's a little better because it doesn't make me want to choke.
doesn't
for some
stick
reason.
to your clothes as much, but it lingers so much longer.
Feels like it does.
It definitely
hangs
does.
around,
It
yeah.
hangs around. It's just a guarantee.
Yeah.
If someone vapes in your car, if someone smokes in your car with the window down, it's just like out the window. If someone vapes in your car with the window down, it just finds a way to get into fucking everything.
The only thing I would think though, it's still better secondhand wise. I think it's better because it's only
I think it'll give you
only
cancer
so many components
in a slower
or something.
It'll give you something. It'll fuck you up somehow. It's definitely probably not as unhealthy as a cigarette. I will say that.
Just because
In the same way that a new car is better for the environment than an old car.
I kind of think it's exactly like that.
But they're both hurting the environment, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's hurting the environment because it's when it comes out, it's almost just water vapor. Other than the flavorant, I don't know what the hell that shit is.
Yeah, but you're putting a battery in your mouth all day long.
Well, that's not good. That's a good point. The battery's not good. Just that's a good point.
You're sucking off a battery pack. You know?
Yeah.
And you're breathing in a lot of. It's kind of like cigars. You're not inhaling, but you're putting that. You're like marinating your mouth all day, every day.
Yeah.
With this thing, I just think it's shitty. You know, people hate to hear it. The guys who love it hate to hear it, but.
I still think it's a better alternative. Slightly
in
better.
numbers. The vapes exist right now in the same way that bongs exist for pipe smoking.
Yeah.
You know, there's in Florida tons of vape stores, but the amount of guys who actually vape are the same as up here. But people use those vape stores to just sell bongs and other things.
That's what was happening in Southie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They didn't catch that guy for pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, but dude, that was the whole thing I was talking about with Pat today. Like the weed situation down there. I feel bad for the people in Florida. You know, it's different parts of Florida are different. I guess Miami's really cool with it, the bigger cities. But where I was, man, it is just like, it was like going back
in time, right?
It was like going so far back in time, though. Not even
like the 90s.
Yeah, not even the 2000s when it was still it was going back to like, wow, this is actually a really big deal. If we get caught with this, even you'll get in big trouble if you get caught with a lot of weed, but you will get arrested for any amount.
Yeah.
You will go to jail for a gram of weed for a joint or anything.
That's crazy.
They will fucking get some money out of you.
'Cause we've been 10 years from that almost. I don't know when we decriminalized it, but it's been a while for that kind of thinking.
This guy I met who smoked weed though said the funniest thing. I was like, this sounds awful. How do you live, you know? He goes, well, the good thing is there's so many shitheads down here. They kind of take up most of the cops' time.
Florida, man.
He was like, it's Florida. He's like, people driving 100 miles an hour with there's no shirt on. Will like get pulled over, so you don't, you know.
It's true. It's a good point.
But I mean, people were terrified. This guy, I can say it now, but a Comedian Show fan drove 30 minutes to deliver me weed.
That's pretty amazing.
A friend, you know, a guy never met me, but loved my appearances on Comedian, loved all the shows on Compound. Drove 30 minutes after work. He doesn't even smoke weed himself, but his girlfriend did or his wife did, and he figured it out and got me some weed. And got it to me. Left right after work, like rush hour.
It's
drove
pretty
it
amazing.
Down. Yeah, and it was scary for both of us. I think, because that's the whole thing. Like,
it's still
everyone else was kind of these people who worked at the hotel were like, man, I want to help you up. I'm like, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, I'm a fucking nice guy.
Like, look on Spotify. I have a joke about weed smoking. The only time you're ever gonna be a dragon.
I was like, but it wasn't like I don't trust you. It's just that I'm not gonna risk getting arrested.
I get it. I remember.
Like, damn, remember that?
Yeah, vaguely.
Vaguely, right? So I would do that on stage every night and be like, man, we're living in this new world right now where I don't know where I am. Back home, I can do whatever I want, and now I'm back here, and it's like I'm an asshole. But I need weed. I want to smoke weed. So people would come up after the show and give me whatever. They'd be like, dude, we have half a joint in our car that we smoked before the show.
It's like you're a starving person.
Want the other half, and another woman who worked at the hotel was like, here, this is for you, and she gave me half a blunt. And I'm giving out $10-$20 for these things too, you know, in thanks.
Oh, it shows you what the black market,
Well, due to you too.
Yeah.
And I told, supply and demand. I told everyone down there.
Like perfect economics lesson.
I was like, if you get me a quarter, I'll pay you like an extra $20-$30. That's just to get it. You know? So, but I got it. But then, but I'm living with all these other comedians who now want to go, oh, Will got weed. Great. We share eggs. We share bread. I'm like, yeah, man. You know, this shit was like, guy had to smuggle this in his asshole practically. Fucking get it down here. I'm like, do you know how hard this is to get? But yeah, sure, let's all smoke it. I remember Mike was like, I fucking snuck out and smoked a bowl. And Mike was like, did you smoke weed without me? I was like, what more can I do for you, Mike? I was like, we're in the fucking raft in the middle of the ocean right now, and this weed is bread. And I found the bread, so I decide how much bread you get and how much bread I get.
Will's hoarding bread.
Yeah, Will's hoarding bread because it's Will's fucking bread. So that is what it was like down there, and I feel bad. It's fucked up, and they have medical weed, but they don't have flour, only the other shit. But they're just introducing flour, and they're gonna introduce.
They're doing it. It's gonna happen everywhere.
It's gonna happen everywhere. Rollout, but man,
that's why it's silly though too. You see how much all these other places are making, including Massachusetts. And you still see the slow rollout. That's gonna happen. There'll be holdouts.
We're still in the middle.
There'll be like 2 or 3 holdout states. But
that fear of being arrested and getting in real big trouble.
A little fun.
It was a little fun, but remember, you think so? It's not that fun. You're like, especially when you're far away from home.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that would be so bad. And we had #Harry, who was this guy Harry, who's like my homie the whole time. Picked me up at the airport. He was a producer of the gig.
Yeah.
But he was the only guy living on the trip who wasn't a comedian.
So and also like took care of you guys.
Took care of us. Yeah. He was like the mother hen of the whole crew, right?
So stay away from that alligator.
Yeah, you know, like the tour. You would call him like a tour manager would be like his unofficial.
But even more though, he did more than that.
Yeah, he was everything.
Yeah.
Great guy. I had never known him. He used to work in Boston Comedy, and he kind of just coming out of retirement.
That's cool.
As he segued into other things like ironically bowling and some bowling alleys and some like arcades, like, because that's like the weird thing about being a show producer. You can kind of, I hate this word, but you can pivot into other things like that pretty easily. Like people will come up to you and they'll be like, "You want to buy Good Times?" You know what I mean? You'll be like, "Yeah, fuck it. I'm sick of dealing with comedians," and that's easy money. So that's what he did. But now he wants to get back in. So anyway, this is what he's doing. So he was a great fucking guy, and I can't remember what the point of this was. He didn't smoke weed or anything like that, but he had to drive me to go get the pipe.
Oh yeah, because you didn't have any. Yeah, I forgot about
stuff.
that. Yeah.
And he was like, when I would go in and get it, and I come out, it was like we thought we actually were both like, is anyone following us? Like, are the cops watching this place to just see who buys pipes and shit?
They used to do that in New Hampshire to come into Massachusetts, or at least that was what people said.
So for the rest of the trip, he was just like, "Well, you want me to take you to buy any crack tonight or anything?" Because it was kind of cloak and dagger.
Need some moon rocks.
I did do it all on my own too, because I didn't want any of the sponsors. My whole thing was plausible deniability. So that's why I was going to bring up Harry, because he was the only person I told about it. Because I was like, if I get arrested, I want no one. When the cops ask anyone about it, they actually will know nothing.
Yeah.
So that was my goal, was plausible deniability. I watch a lot of Good Wife.
Yeah.
A lot of cop shows. I was like,
I'm good.
I'm doing this
smarter
solo.
than Florida.
And I go, and Harry, I memorized his phone number because I was like, that's my phone call, is Harry. He's the only guy in Florida that could get me out of jail.
Thought about getting a tattoo.
Love you, Harry, if you're watching. He's down there right now. Comedy on the Fly. If you're in Florida, go check him out. Bring him weed. So this motherfucker died.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened with this guy? Is basically he just bought like a crappy Chinese vape pen. Oh no, not vape pen. Vape machine. E-cigarette, they say. But he went into a vape store and was like, "Hey, my thing's not working right." And the guy was like, "Hey, we don't have your crappy product." So then he went outside and it basically just blew his face off.
All right, so that's sad.
Yeah.
Feel bad for someone who died.
It's sad. It is sad.
You don't want to die. I'm sure it's also a brutal death too. He probably
It hit his carotid artery.
Yeah,
bled out. Yeah, and then he had a stroke. So
yeah, so he died horribly.
Yeah.
And a young guy.
Not funny.
That's really bad.
He's got great hair.
So hate to make fun of him, but is this not exactly the type of guy who vapes? This is probably on the handsomer end, most of them.
Yeah, this guy's doing good. He was.
I notice a lot of car mechanics do it, which isn't bad. I have a couple buddies who are car mechanics, but I notice it's like that's one of the industries for vape. I think because it's got gear and it's got like little things that you can tweak and parts.
Do you think it's more acceptable than smoking too? And that like kind of pushes.
I don't think chicks like it. I think chicks mutually dislike it as much as they dislike smoking. Yeah. They're like, ugh, loser.
I think in public, though, less people will bitch about this than they will about a cigarette.
I don't know, though. It's a big thing in New Hampshire. Like, a lot of the places have signs that say no vaping.
They're done, yeah. But because they've already weeded out the smokers,
they were the first people that was the first place I remember seeing it. I remember being on stage and a couple people blowing huge clouds.
That pissed me off. That's ridiculous.
It would come up into my shit.
Yeah.
Well, and
it goes through the light. It looks weird. Like
I remember thinking this won't last, and it didn't. It was like, yeah, month later. So yeah, that's a sad story. But I've heard of them exploding in people's cars.
It's crazy batteries.
Dude, I didn't read this. I'm so interested in this.
This is a hilarious story.
I have my favorite neighborhood in New York is the Upper West Side. It's
exactly.
Best.
Well, Southie's like getting stuff like this. This is what you're going to start seeing in Southie too.
Yeah.
But basically, this says Upper West Siders sue neighbors for building basketball court inside apartment. So they don't really say how much the apartments go for, but I imagine
Upper West Side co-ops millions of dollars.
Like more in the multiple
what did that say?
millions.
160 what? West what? 95th? All right, that's getting up there a little high, but that's still really, really nice.
Yeah.
But what's funny about that is the difference between 95th Street and 75th Street is probably
$1 million.
Yeah.
I know. It's so crazy.
You're getting closer to blacks. It's not worth as much. That's basically what that means. Back in the day, now 90
less and less. It means
less
that,
and less. But I mean,
it's still there, dude.
New
It's
York
definitely still
City
there.
is. If you can't deal with black people, you should not live in New York City. Like if you can't deal with meeting a different type of person every single day, you shouldn't live in New York City.
New York feels like you're in like almost like that scene in Men in Black when they're in.
Yeah, it's really New York is like being in one big airport terminal at all times.
Yeah,
People are just
100%.
constantly like, ah. I like New York. The best time in New York is nighttime. When the business day should just be avoided.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately when I'm there a lot now is at the end of the business day, but that kind of time in New York is when people are like, I could never live here.
Yeah.
But when you're just ate at a restaurant, and you're walking home or walking to your hotel at 11 at night, you're like, this is
a much better place. Yeah, exactly. It makes you want to blow your brains out during the day.
Yeah.
But this basically really just seems like a bunch of neighbors who don't like each other. The people who with the basketball court say it's not a basketball court. They got some stuff. They have kids. They got a playroom. They got a small basketball net, but it's not a full court.
Okay.
But the whole thing started. They did a bunch of renovation and unveiled a bunch of wires that had to be redone, and this family had to pay for it because they're 2 floors.
Oh, so they're just fucking
yeah.
McCoy.
They're 2 floors below. Also,
Hatfield McCoy. We hate each other.
Yeah.
Shit. I think these two are just such a generic, like happy Jewish couple. From
it almost looks like an AI made it to me.
They really do look just like an AI New York Post made up a successful upper middle class Jewish couple, like Robert Herzog, who owns the Herzog Dental Associates, and his wife, philanthropist Lauren Grolman.
Laurin.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's these things. I know a few people, and I've heard the stories of like Opie from Opie and Anthony couldn't get. People didn't want him. He had a hard time finding a co-op apartment because people were just like, "You're a shock jock.
We know you're
What are you gonna
do.
have lesbians having sex?"
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm like a guy with kids. What are you fucking doing?" But I've heard of regular people. You have to go in front of a board of people, and they constitute old money, new money, regular people. But it makes sense. Every apartment building, or some of these apartment buildings, they're like the size of small towns, and they want to make sure.
Well, and like their argument is probably like, we pay all this money because we want the riffraff out.
Yeah, and they don't want to hear any noise or anything like
Yeah,
that. So it
but
sounds like these two are just at war.
Yeah, that's what it is. These people are probably dicks, but they're probably a little bit right too. Probably something's going on.
What do you think about this guy for a just shave it, bro?
100%. It's 100%. Like, he looks good. He really does look
He's got
good.
a great, I gotta say, it's a great smile on that guy. It's a trusting,
does.
he's kind of a politician's,
He does.
a lot of smiling, I think, is in the eyes.
Yeah.
So look at her.
It's a warmth.
Her smile, right? No eye movement at all.
It's like, okay.
Looks a little fake.
Yeah, it's okay.
He's giving it you gotta like squint your eyes a little bit like Santa Claus.
You're right. It's in the eyes. I want to tell him my bank information.
Modeling tips from Will and Paul. Involve your eyes in your smile more. People will trust you. Maybe we just become one of those YouTube shows.
Yeah, we just rip people apart.
You know what you could do with your life? Smile with your eyes more. You could do ASMR. Huh?
Yeah, that stuff's ridiculous.
Have you seen? I won't ask if you've seen this, but have you, the viewer, seen any of this ASMR porn on Pornhub? It's really weird.
I didn't know it started. I didn't know it got to porn, but
dude,
it popped up on Twitch a year or two ago when I first seen it, and it's just like chicks talking into mic.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
that's been big for a couple years. Like that, and it's like sometimes it's like Harry Potter themed or something. They're like, "I'm a Muggle, I'm a Muggle," but then there's other ones. So there's these ones on like Pornhub where a chick will just kneel. Dude, Pornhub's so fucked up. Like, so Pornhub's like YouTube where there's YouTubers, there's Pornhubbers, or
like
whatever.
featured stars,
but anyone now can start their own channel,
okay,
do their own thing, right?
So it's the same as
I bet
Twitch
we
or
could even
YouTube.
like broadcast one episode or two before we got taken down.
Well, I know there's like a lot of piracy on it. You can watch like a lot of kids Disney movies on Pornhub.
Oh, really?
That
makes sense.
A lot of like stuff that's pulled off YouTube has popped up on Pornhub.
Yeah, I heard that kind of stuff like that is happening. So I follow this young lady because she's a dope chick and she like does all the like. I don't follow her because I don't have like a Pornhub subscription.
I don't know where she lives.
But I just know her name, so I type it in, right? So she started doing these. Like I like went in deeper. I was like, what else is this chick doing? All videos, right? And I was like, oh my God, she's doing all these videos. And then I realized there's this whole genre of like chicks. And this is where society's just, we have no chance. Because it's like, you look great today. You're going to have a great day at work today, honey. Oh, like, I love the way your, like, suit looks. Like, it's not even dirty stuff.
Yeah, it's fine. You can't see your penis anymore.
It's okay if you feel scared sometimes. Like, it's just a hot chick, sometimes not even naked, just saying encouraging things to you.
Like, I get it in a way, but that's weird. It's sad. It's like a sad thing.
The thing that makes me happy, and I looked at it, I was like, the videos of her masturbating are in the millions. And the videos of her doing that are like in the low 3,000s.
Okay. So that makes sense.
So it's not fucking taking off.
And it's probably just people like you, like clicking on like, what the fuck is this?
It's probably even her going like, let's throw this at the wall and see if it sticks. Maybe I can make money not masturbating. Yeah. You know?
It's a good play.
So, but I was just like, man, there's definitely some guys out there.
Isn't that how like Tony Robbins started?
I think it's how you get yourself murdered by one of your fans. That's what I was thinking.
100%.
Some guy out there is going to be addicted to the sound of her voice.
Yeah.
And start believing in his phone that tells him all this nice stuff or something. He's going to go insane. You know? That's what I thought. My fucked up worst
you have to think that now. Like everybody, like every single thing seems like a creation of the internet that crazy people exacerbate. That's what every fucking thing seems like now.
It's true. We're just in such everything is so easily accessed now because it can all be connected to your phone and your computer and your wallet within a snap of a finger. Yeah. You can come up with an idea and have it on sale in days. And then the news puts it up, and in that whole the word viral has actually, you know, the perfect word.
Yeah.
Because and I think in its essence, it's supposed to just mean it spreads like a virus, which is true. But it also, like, you don't want a virus.
No, yeah.
Like exactly. A virus usually takes control.
It is negative.
Takes some, it sucks life to power itself.
Yeah.
And in a way, so does this shit, you know?
It does feel like it.
Deep moments on the Noonan Show. We'll have to come up with a thing for that. Whenever we go there, like, it's a Joe Rogan zone.
Yeah. That's what we need. We need more sound effects.
Sound effects, cards.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
There's eventually, I was thinking about this like on the plane. Eventually, you're not gonna we're gonna have to get another.
Yeah, have to get another me. Yeah, and for real though.
That'll happen.
like someone who can actually do it. Like it's I go in and out of being able to do it.
I had a first thing ever happened to me on a guy. Sam Adams paid for a lot of stuff. The sponsors paid for a lot of stuff, and including the plane tickets and stuff, right? But you can always upgrade yourself or check and see if an upgrade's available. So there was an upgrade to a much nicer seat for $70 on both flights. I was like, I'm taking it.
Definitely take it.
$70 for way nicer treatment.
Definitely.
That's
a no-brainer.
On the first flight, I could do this in my seat because I got the exit row.
Yeah.
On the second flight, no, I was still in the exit row, but it wasn't a big one. But the two seats next to me were empty.
So it's
both of that was like worth it. I would have paid $140.
Oh yeah.
But but it's like it's up towards the front of the plane too, so you get that on first, off first shit too.
Oh, that's the best.
So. I'm like, no brainer.
Pack your bags last, so they come off first.
It's one of those things that when you're paying for everything, you're like, no way. But when you're not paying for it, you're like, of course. Right?
Of course.
It's like an instant, like, why wouldn't I do this? So it's such a great perk. But then you have to do the thing where like you're sitting there and everyone, and all the shitty seats has to walk by you, and this guy goes, he's like, Will Noonan. He's like, nice to meet you. He's like, he's like, I've seen you around. You're funny, man, or whatever. And I was like, it was like 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, thank you very much. But it was honestly, like one of the coolest things ever. I was like, that's fucking cool, man.
And then you're like, get the fuck back.
I was like, throw that man off the plane. But actually, I went back because I met 1,000 people in Fort Myers. We had a booth in the park. We were signing, like, some people wanted our autographs. It was so funny because it was like, you set up a booth, people will just do that. You know, they assume they're like, oh, everyone else is signing my stuff. Let's ask these guys. Yeah. So it was funny, and it was a great time. We met 1 million people, including, of course, doing the shows and just being at all the games. So I didn't know, and I met and hung out with a lot of people who work in for newspapers or Nesson or the radio. So I didn't know if like he was a dude.
Yeah. You don't know who this person is.
He looked like
really.
he could be a dude I'd met. So then I'm going like, this is what's been happening to me lately. Someone will come up and be like, hey man, and I'll say, good to meet you, and they'll be like, good to see you, and then I'll be like, ugh.
Well, that's the trick though. You have to say nice seeing you or something like that.
I have to start saying that every time, right? So I go, but then I go immediately into like this zone of like, if that guy was just coming up to me, like I was just a dick, like because I acted like
it could feel like that.
So or maybe because like there was one guy at the game who was like, hey, do you know where? He was like, I was writing a direction on this card, right, for this lady, and her husband was like, can you sign it too? And I was like, yeah, but it was like 100 people were there, so I just signed it and gave it to the guy. And then like he was already walking away before I was like, oh, I should have like asked for who or what's your name or whatever. Yeah, it bothered me for like 48 hours.
These are things you have to learn.
And then
too.
And then this thing happened. So then I was like, I like waited until we were at like 30,000 feet. And I went to the bathroom and I like saw the guy and found his seat. And then I'm like, hey. I'm like, sorry if I was rude back there. I was like, I'm so tired. I don't know what's going on. Have we met before? And he was like, no. He's like, I'm a musician though, and I've seen you around, and I've seen your stuff.
Cool.
It's funny.
That's even cooler then.
And I was like, oh, cool, man.
So you're being too nice though.
I was like, I'm sorry if I was like quick. I was like, dude, I'm half asleep. You know? He's like, oh no. And he's like with his kids and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but he looked around my age. I don't want to big time anybody. Especially. No, I'm not a big time fucking guy.
No, I know you're not.
And it's nice every time it happens. It's nice, but I'm still this nervous dude sometimes who's just.
What the fuck is this?
What's happening? Yeah. Like I'm very.
It's normal.
In my head, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just snapping out of it, and then I go.
Plus in the morning, plus you're on a plane.
Yeah,
like that adds.
And then afterwards, it always happens though. It's happened to me a handful of times. A lot of times everything goes smoothly, you never think about it again. But a lot of times these things don't go smoothly, and then you go, "There's a person who's gonna hate me for the rest of their life," or think, "Wow, he seems like a real nice guy on the Comedian Show."
Yeah.
But he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
But then again. You know, those things turn sour all the time, too. Like,
if you're too nice, that gets wacky, too. Like what you were saying before, like about the ASMR chicks.
I had another guy who was
that
like...
can fucking happen, too.
Another guy who was like... he kept coming up, and he was like... Da-da-da. He was saying, like, regular nice things, like, you're funny, da-da-da. And then he was like... He kept coming by, to, like, the booth over and over. I was like, yeah. And then he goes... He was like, yeah, and then he just, it was kind of like no one around me for a minute, and he's like, so like you work out a lot? Like you look like you work out a lot. And I was like,
It's like, do you understand the term gay for pay?
Yeah, I was just getting that. I was like, So let's watch this guy.
Yeah, this just makes you, I don't know. Guys, did you see this already?
Someone who's gay out there, though, let me know, like, I think that is kind of a tester question.
100%.
Because people work out, but when someone's like, do you work out?
So, normal thing, guy walks by some kind of store, and everything collapses right behind him.
Yeah, I did actually see this
pretty terrible
on the TV somewhere. It's terrifying.
Lucky bastard.
This kind of thing happened in Brighton not that long ago, and a chick was underneath it.
Yeah.
You know, this kind of thing happens in New York quite a bit as well. A friend of mine in New York once, he fell. You know those grates? We were walking. Some of those grates are huge. Some of them, though, are only like the size of a manhole cover. He stepped on one that was the size of a manhole cover, and he was kind of a big guy, so he just fell in it.
Right through it.
But it was only like just his leg, so he kind of caught himself.
Yeah.
But he
gets so hurt
he was hurt. He was hurt, too. And what was funny was all these people rushed over. But since he was like a 21-year-old kid, he was like, I just want to keep going where I was going. So like everyone fuck off.
So he just hobbled away.
We both were like, let's go to the bar. Like that's where we were going.
Well, have you ever been running and just stepped on like even like a pothole, but not even a pothole, just a decline?
Yeah.
And just completely can fuck you up.
Oh yeah.
Like,
tripped over those millimeter size things in sidewalks. But this is one of those freaky luck.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a tire coming off a car, concrete falling.
What if his footsteps were the very last?
Yeah, exactly. He's like a heavy walker.
Yeah, he farted right there.
Imagine in his head though, like that's like the sequence of events.
Yeah, and now he's like, I have a superpower. Smoking a butt. This guy already doesn't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't. That's a confident walk. That's a walk that like a building's not going to fall on you.
Yeah, and I'm sure that happens in London more often than this. Like it happens in any old city. It happens in New York, and it doesn't have to be. It can be one brick. It doesn't have to be the whole. That's a nice shot.
Yeah.
Tune in, podcast listeners. Tune into the podcast to see this beautiful video podcast to see this beautiful shot.
This video still.
Let's do. What time is it?
We're getting up there. So
let's do a Just Shave It, bro.
Okay,
that's my new favorite.
It is kind of fun. Okay, hang on,
It's like the first thing I tell people when they ask me what the show is. I'm like, well, we do this great segment.
Okay, so we got two of them.
That Paul came up.
I always start with the.
Didn't we do this guy already?
It feels like
they all look the same.
It all feels like because that's what I'm telling you. There's like.
Oh no! You know what? I saw this guy on TV in Florida.
Oh yeah, it's Florida, man.
And I thought, this guy is a Just Shave It Bro guy.
So basically, what it is, we don't have to really play the video. We'll just keep his face up there. But he was stealing very, very expensive coins and then turning them in as regular coins in like the supermarket change thing.
Yeah, the Coinstar. He got like $38 too, right?
I think he got a couple grand, but it was worth like 33 grand. This says.
Didn't he? What did he get from the Coinstar? I heard it was the story I saw was a really low amount of money.
It says a few thousand. There.
Oh, okay.
But it's still though. It's still.
Dude, people down there, man, are so dumb with their crimes. There was a guy there the week I was there who printed out child porn at a CVS.
CVS.
Then he used his CVS rewards card to save a few bucks on it.
He needed it, man.
That's how they got him. Here's another guy who used his he stole a bunch of stuff, and then he used his Home Depot card or whatever to try and get a little extra. They found him that way.
It's like how you want those people to be caught. Those people need to be identified.
I wonder, the whole rare collectible coins thing too. That's
so silly.
That's such a thing that like a dumb would think like, that's my big score.
Dude, it ropes so many people in, like the late night QVC type shows.
Oh yeah,
commemorative coins. You want Davy Crockett?
Put your
gold
money
coin?
into gold.
That's not like the worst idea.
No,
but like you're paying stupid premiums when you buy minted gold coins.
You're telling someone that this is like an investment in gold when they're just buying gold coins
that are heavily marked up too. Like
they could invest in gold by just investing in gold futures or golds. Yeah,
like you could buy bullion too. You could buy that.
Yeah, which is still better than
so smart. It's smart
fucking
to buy.
coin.
Yeah. It's just funny. He's got that look too. I feel bad for him. He thought he had it all figured out, man.
So there's, just only because I'm fresh out of Florida, there's a type of person down there that looks a little normal. Like, they put this guy in the right clothing.
Yeah, you could dress this guy up. You could even make this guy a little handsome.
If he knocked on your door and was like, "Hey, I am a landscaper," you'd be like, "Hey,
100%.
What's up? What do you got?"
Yeah. Or he's like a husband of a woman, like you've never met her husband before. He's all cleaned up at at a christening or something. Yeah, I mean, a real normal guy.
Even his facial hair right there it's
all better than mine.
It's not bad. I'm gonna go. So Paul, I hate to disagree, but
I think clean it up.
This
not
guy
full
was
shave.
I think he had just shaved it. And then this is the grow back from the Just Shave It.
I think that's what's going on too.
But I'm a big fan of, and I've said it on former Just Shave It bros, I'm a big fan of the low shave, like the Ed Harris.
Yeah. I feel like his is just a little too long. He just let it go a little too much. He's probably he's been up for a couple days. I don't know what's going on.
We all know Ed Harris is my Just Shave It bro, all-time nominee for greatest. Keep it, bro.
It's him and the Prince, the man who will be king, the guy from Charles Kid, that guy.
Not man Harry. Who will be king?
Not Harry, the other guy.
Wait, Fresh Prince? Is that what you said?
No, like the Prince of England. Whatever it is.
William.
William.
Oh, he is the best candidate for Just Shave.
He's up there too. He's good. I just don't know his name.
Who's the next one? Don't we always have two?
I always do two because this is another good one. Oh shit! Okay,
That
give me a second.
dinosaur sucks. The Jerusalem Post.
Yeah, I'm going real.
Oh, this guy looks familiar.
So a Jewish diamond tycoon dies in peanut enlargement operation. So this isn't too much of a Just Shave It Pro because I think he's done a lot of work to keep a bit. He's kept that. Like
you can see that.
He's eating some minoxidil. He's getting some plugs. Like he's doing some work.
Yeah, that's.
But I think like what killed him, the penis thing killed him. Obviously,
he looks like Bobby Valentine.
He does,
doesn't he?
But like a better Bobby.
Like Bobby Valentine's big brother who just didn't fuck whores for 30 years. I don't know anything about Bobby Valentine's personal life.
I don't either. I know that he's like a little nutty.
Yeah, likes to smile.
He's like a ballroom dance champion. That's all I really know about him. Yeah,
but this guy, I like this guy for a Just Shave It Pro candidate because you can definitely see that he's got the.
He did the work.
The
did
balding,
right?
Where it should be.
Right
and
hair.
That hair he's got up there, that's basically a comb over that's going backwards because you can see straight through to the back.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's counting on this back, like,
there you go.
That's photoshopped out of probably another photo. It's probably not a real black background. It might be, though.
It looks like something on like a book jacket.
Yeah,
like he's
it looks like he's probably at someplace outdoors. And then they Photoshop that black background. But it's something else that's going on with this photo. But yeah, I would definitely like to see this guy with a shaved head. But it's weird, though, because he's got that cool white hair by his ears there. And like that kind of stuff, I like that.
I could see why you'd want to keep it. But he's done a lot of work to be at this level, too. I think we got to acknowledge that. But like, but.
All right, so let's talk about his cock.
Exactly. Like, that's the whole problem. Like, if he had just shaved it, there's no way your cock's that small that you need an operation. I don't believe that.
At that age, too?
Like, what are you doing?
So I think it's like die on the table for it.
It's a symptom of not shaving your head. It's a symptom of vanity.
Yeah, this guy's got a lot of problems. Some people just don't give a fuck. How old was he? 65? You should not be getting dick surgery.
Like, what are you doing, man?
Argentinian. He was just this extremely vain
Just
man.
got that diamond money.
Diamonds industry. So this is like one of those guys who's probably a little, like, probably half a fag, as Kevin Brennan would say.
His nickname
it's
in
not politically correct at all. But
No.
You know how those guys, like, when you rent a tuxedo or...
Oh, yeah, everyone
like
knows them. Everyone
buy
knows
jewelry.
them.
There's always one of those guys there.
Most
who's like
politicians.
got a little chest hair, got a gold necklace in the chest hair, a lot of rings, and he's just kind of like, I'm married. I have 4 daughters.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, you look fantastic in that suit, and I'm not gay, but I'm halfway.
This guy, a friend said his nickname in the diamond firm was the Argentinian because he always looked like a tango dancer.
Am I wrong, America? I used the FAG word, but you know what? SORRY.
Alphabet letters.
It came out. All right, let's do the scratch ticket.
Let's do it.
Oh, we still got 5 minutes, but I thought we were like...
It
doesn't matter. I still want to do scratch ticket. I just felt the
We
urge.
can close, however.
Yeah, we'll close on
Do whatever,
we'll
man.
just have a little chit-chat. So here's a scratch ticket. I got a couple scratch tickets, by the way, in Florida. Only $1, $2. But I wanted to save him for our show, but I actually couldn't sit on him. I was just looking at him like, could be so much money in there.
And they would have stole it going through the airport.
17, 16, 21, 10. Not really feeling great about these numbers. 16's all right. Sweet 16. Ooh, I am liking our chances, though, because we have nothing close in the top row. 7, 2, 1, 11. Oh, we have a winner, Paul.
Nice.
We have a winner. As I just predicted, I was like, this is looking good. See, there is a logic to this.
There's got to be, right?
So I like to go all the way through.
Within the random AI, it's not nothing's completely random.
Before I see the prize, I like to go all the way through. 17, 16, 21, 10. 17, 16, 21, 10, 21. Like blackjack, where I will be this weekend at the MGM Grand in Springfield, Massachusetts, opening for Greg Fitzsimmons.
That's awesome.
and I'll be using the $5 that we won on this scratch ticket, breaking even today on scratch ticket.
I think you're up $5 or $10 total. No, actually, no, $5. I don't know. I wish we actually kept this.
It was funny. The girl at the Jess at Cumberland Farms was like, I feel like you buy a scratch ticket once a month, and I was like, it's once a week.
Thanks for noticing.
I was like, once a week. Have you seen my commercial? Yeah, everyone's into the commercial, and I'm doing more.
That's awesome.
Filming some more in April.
Are you doing maybe some voiceover stuff too? So it'll be radio spots.
There already are.
There already are radio spots.
There have been radio spots. I recorded more radio spots when before I left for Florida. Right before I left.
That's awesome.
The day before I left for Florida, I was in the recording studio.
That's awesome, then.
The same one I found out that Nick Valentine used to do some lines for Fallout 4. The guy who does Nick Valentine's voice. I got these headphones that I won't say the name, but a very famous guy, you could say a family guy, who does voices. He was recording some stuff there, and he's kind of a germaphobe, so he buys a new pair of headphones every time and just says keep them, because he doesn't want to use someone else's, and he doesn't want to use any pair too many times, so he just says keep them. So they always have these brand new awesome headphones because this guy comes in a lot. And so I use those. So they always tell you things like that. But yeah, so been hearing myself. You can't escape it.
It's good.
It's on TV.
It's weird for me because I ignore commercials, but it triggers something. As I'm like,
yeah, you hear
I hear
your buddy's voice.
Her Will.
My girl said that. She said she was on the treadmill at the gym and she hears.
And it takes a second for me to understand what's going on.
Around here, we Honda. That's the one that I'll hear it. It's the same thing happens to me in the car. It's always on stuff we watch too. It's always on sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, good shows. They're hitting the best stuff. So it's I'm in the car listening to EI and it pops on, and I'm just like, this is crazy. You know what I mean?
Has it popped? Have you done your podcast in your car since it's been on? Because that'd be pretty interesting if that pops on.
But it didn't. Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, I wonder. I guess it's still illegal to put it on.
It's 100%, right? Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, you don't own it. I forget.
I don't own it. It's not my thing. I'm a total employee here.
You didn't do that, Hunter.
Yeah, I didn't do that. That huge. I didn't get those huge. What's so funny is how some people think it's green screen. I'm like, no, man.
I did.
Big white room.
I definitely thought it was green screen.
Automobiles. But I think in the newer ones, I'm hugging the cars. I'm touching the cars more.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. That was to me one of the coolest parts. I'm like, shit, here we are.
That's badass.
We're in the car commercial.
That's so much cooler too. This green screen. If I can do green screen, no one else should be able to do it. It's bullshit.
No,
that's how I feel.
Everyone's walking around with dust covers on their boots.
It's so much cooler.
I mean?
It looked amazing. It looked perfect.
It's so cool.
I mean, you can't really green screen a car commercial too, because then there are green colors in shit.
The cars are the star, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's they spent before I show up. They spent something they spent the first few hours of the day lighting those cars.
Yeah,
just pulling, making it just perfect.
And
then that's the fun part is then they're just they have a camera, and on this one the camera's and all the camera and all the crew, they were 50 feet away, if not farther.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of they're all right, well, fuck around, do crazy shit near the cars, hug them, do whatever you want.
They had a big ass, the crane camera thing?
No, it was, they had that, but they weren't using it that much. They were sometimes pushing it in and out, but they just were kind of we're going to have this one thing and we'll be able to cut
and then they'll do
through
whatever they want. Yeah,
all
that's
these
badass.
different things. And sometimes they'd be there's a banner falling down above you and stuff like that. But people who know me a long time know I wouldn't bullshit. I would say I didn't like working with them if I didn't.
No, I can tell you did.
Because I said it all the time.
Yeah.
I love these people.
Yeah.
They're a great crew. So I'm fucking psyched to be doing more.
It's just so much better. Professionals are better.
When you're working with good people,
so
everything is a pleasure. But when you're working with bad people, it's just like pulling teeth.
Yeah, it sucks.
That's that.
It's life.
That's life, folks. And that's our show for today. Check out our old episodes. Tell your friends. I don't know what we need to do. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave comments.
I'm supposed to say that. Yeah.
That stuff.
We'll figure that out.
Play Fortnite. Fortnite Season 8. Pretty good. I'm enjoying it.
That's what we should start doing. When you play Fortnite tonight, I'll do a video game stream on this end. We'll link up together.
We will do that.
You can
That'd
get
be
other
fun.
people.
Yeah, I'd be down for
Figure it
that.
out.
Little Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Yeah, I want to play with. There's a couple guys whose kids are. One of them goes like, "You and my kid have all the same hobbies." Because I was saying something
Bowling
like,
and
I was like, I love Fortnite, and then the other thing was I mentioned what the fuck was it? Oh, Stardew Valley. And he was like, "You and my kid play all the same video games." I was like, "Dude, your kid sounds awesome."
Good job.
But that would be great. But I like the new season of Fortnite. I was playing a lot last night. But yeah, I gotta go. I'm going off to Milton, Mass, to
Nice.
walk my parents' dog and hang out with him for a little while.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Peace.
We're out.